Thank you, Elliott. It looks like we have a caller. Hello, do you have a comment or a question?
Hi, yes, I have a question. I wanted to ask the guest what he would do as a parent if the school, instead of you as a parent diagnose your child with having a learning disability or some sort of cognitive disorder, and you frankly just disagreed.
Well, that's a very good question. I think that, this is information that every parent should know. And basically, if the school tests your child and comes back with a diagnosis that they don't find a need, it's the right of the parent to ask the school district to participate, and by participate I mean pay for, a private assessment. So if you get an independent assessment, I would say the lion's share of the time, and I'm not going to throw around some numbers, but most of the time, an independent assessment will show you the needs of a child to a higher degree. So one of the things I might give you an example of is the school districts many times will say to a parent, we don't test for dyslexia. And meanwhile, the parent is seeing all the signs of dyslexia. Their child is reversing letters, they're having a hard time reading, and so forth. And what we need to do is we need to get a private independent assessment that's not going to be held to, the school district's approval. It's going to be, an honest assessment by, the person doing that, usually a doctor, who would tell the parent, this is what I see as the problem with your student.
Or, I'm sorry,
yes,
just to sort of reverse that, what if the school says, your child is unusually quiet, withdrawn, won't really communicate, we think that he or she may have a touch of autism, and you think, no, my child is quiet, but not, to the point of being on the autistic spectrum.
Right.
If it's, the other way around.
Well, I want to say two things about that, because I always want to be very cautious. When I'm giving trainings to people, and I've had literally, hundreds of people call me with kids with autism. It's such a growing concern. So one of the things that I often say is, was it a diagnosis that you received from your doctor or through the school? And, it kind of works both ways. I want people to be sure of what they're doing. And I could never be sure of something with my personal child until I had experts' opinions. Once you get those opinions, then you can develop it to the point where this is my opinion. And I've talked to doctors, I've talked to therapists, I've talked to people that know. It's really, really important that the parent understands. You have rights to say, if I don't want my child involved in special education, you have the right to not have your child in special education. But if someone is telling me, if all the professionals out there have been told it's not your place to recommend to a parent that they test their child or that their child has a disability, because they're concerned about money issues. So if someone were to tell me, no matter how I didn't like that news, and we have to find out, in all honesty, what the truth is. What is the best way to assess and really, see if that child has an issue, or if it's just someone's, very personal opinion because maybe they have a child with autism or they know a child with autism and they're seeing some of the same signs with yours.
Yeah, so really appreciate your question, and I would encourage you to call our office because this is the type of expert advice you get at Family Resource Center on Disabilities. You can actually call us at 312-939-3513.